Happy 2021. Can't wait to write that 100 times in all my emails in January. Just want to give you a quick update on the state of love in London and what we're doing in 2021. Spoiler alert, I don't know. Obviously, 2020 was really hard for anybody that works in the travel industry. I was feeling quite negative about it, but I did take the last couple weeks off of December just to kind of relax and regroup and have a little bit more perspective, I would say. I'm really lucky in that I don't have any full-time employees that I had to either support or put onto furlough or to lay off. And I don't have an office or any other like high overheads that I need to cover. And my personal financial situation is very luckily completely fine and was able to relieve a lot of stress that I might have otherwise had. So hopefully you'll see less Instagram rants from me. No, I feel more optimistic and better about everything and a little bit more like this is going to be a fresh start. And if you don't feel like you have that mindset, that's also okay. If you're like, I would just like to survive 2021, I don't really care about goals and aspirations and this and that, that's fine too. Don't let anyone make you feel like you have to declare 2021 to be your year and you're gonna get all this stuff done and blah, blah, blah. If you're tired, that's okay. In terms of love and London content over the next few months. Okay, so there's a couple of things. The first is that London and most of England now are under tier 4 lockdown, which is pretty significant lockdown. Most things are closed around London, so there's not really much that I can film there anyway. And on top of that, I actually moved out of London in October. I was trying to get out of the house share situation that I was in, and I just wanted to save some money, and I knew that living in a house share during the imminent lockdown that actually came like a day after I ended up moving out, it wasn't gonna be a good situation. So for me to travel into London to film things when there's not actually really anything I can film makes it difficult to create content, to be honest. Technically, my videographer Marco and I are allowed to go film places because we can't work from home to do that. We just don't really need to risk both of our healths. We can just wait to do some things, hopefully in February or March. So the next couple of months you can expect London and travel related content. Like next week, I'm doing the Q&A that I asked for questions for back in December. And the week after that, I filmed my journey flying from New York back to London and how that kind of went. I want to expand my moving to / living in London video series. So we'll have some educational videos along that area. And then I'll think of some other things too that I think would be interesting for all of you at home who can't get to London. But to be honest, every time I make the plan for like the next 4 or 6 videos, some new government regulation restriction comes in and it kind of like wipes out the plans for that to be able to do that. So don't hold me to any of those videos. You might not see any of them. And then once things start to settle down a little bit, who knows when that will be, but when it does, then I will have some more videos that are of flats and houses around London, since you guys seem to like those. I will be moving back into London and I am going to create videos around the flat hunting process, and then probably I'll make one about decorating my flat and doing a little flat tour there as well. I have all these digital travel guides that I really want to make that I think will be so fun. So hopefully towards maybe the end of the year, I'll be able to start creating and selling those. But from what I can tell from last year, you guys aren't really interested in buying guides unless you know that you are like pretty set in being able to come to London. So unfortunately, I'll hold off on those, but I'll try to keep creating video guides once things open back up. And of course, a really big and of course, a really big thank you to all of you who have stuck around for the last year, even though you haven't had plans to come to London or you've had to shift them a bunch of times and our content's been all over the place. I totally know that. It has literally been like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. And nothing really stuck this year, unfortunately, but that's how it goes, I guess. So thank you so much for all of your kind support and your kind words and continuing to watch the stuff that you think is relevant and interesting. I do really appreciate that. And by the way, if you want something fun to do with your travel photos now that it's like gloomy and winter in much of the world, please be sure to watch my video that's popping up right next to me here. It's a sponsored video. It has a bunch of ideas for what you can do with your travel photos that are on your phone, and you can make them into Polaroid photos, and then you can create a whole bunch of things which you can make and give as a gift or just make it for yourself. Okay, I'll see you next week.